We're back in Saint Paul, Minnesota, getting ready for the first round of championship modified four-wheel drive pickup truck pulling competition on the U.S. Hot Rod Association Ford Budweiser Trail. The first machine hooking up to the weight transfer sled, a mountain of metal weighing in right now at a static 30,000 pounds, is the incredible new 1991 Orange Crush Ford of Dwight Olson out of Illinois. One of the true veterans on the U.S. Hot Rod Association Circuit of Champions, who started in this competition back in 1976. Hooked up on a 215-foot course. The objective, to pull that 30,000 pounds as far as possible down this course in a distance competition. The green light comes on. The green flag will be raised at the other end of the track by the flagman to tell Olson he's ready to pull. The RPMs come up on the 672 cubic inch Ford power plant as Olson begins to drag that phenomenal weight off the starting line. On a great pull, but now the weight starts to dig in, and he shuts it down very close to the end of this 215-foot course. 202 feet, 8 1/2 inches for Dwight Olson to start things off in this competition. As we pointed out, if you're not familiar with this most American of sports, the objective is to pull that weight as far as possible. And that 202-foot, 8 1/2 inch mark is now the mark to beat for the rest of the competitors. But keep in mind, if anybody hauls that 30,000 pounds past the 215-foot finish line, it's considered a full pull, and that automatically puts the driver in the #1 spot. Here's Gene Helbig out of Missouri Valley, Iowa. One for the Chevrolet fans. It's called the Heartbeat of America. Strain appears to be plenty stout on the Chevrolet. Helmet down near the finish line, but falls short. But he will take over the #1 spot in this competition at 205 feet even. The Chevrolet steals the #1 spot from the Ford as the officials go out to verify the measurement. It comes up officially at 205 flat. Here's the next driver up. From Franksville, Wisconsin, Bob Rathke, another longtime campaigner, and the big blue Chevrolet he calls Gonzo. 205 feet even, the mark to beat for the Wisconsin campaigner. A perfect start, beautiful traction. Rathke now tries to use brute power to pull that weight, but he'll dig in short of the #1 spot. The distance for the fuel-injected Chevrolet, 193 feet, 5 inches. It'll be good for the #3 spot right now. This time around, it's the beautiful Ford product called Nut and Honey of Dean Christensen out of Cumberland, Iowa. These machines are restricted to normally aspirated engines, no superchargers allowed. Christensen. The Wisconsin driver has a great one going. And he digs in literally only a few feet away from the finish line. An exceptional pull. 212 feet, 5 inches. Less than 2.5 feet away from the ultimate performance in this form of motorsports. That will bring up 1/2 of the husband and wife team of which we talked earlier. This is Wyman Travis and the Maybe Baby Ford. And Travis has a great one going. And there it is, the first full pull of the event. That's what the crowd came to see as the Maybe Baby Ford unloads a full pull at over 30,000 pounds of static weight. And Wyman has to be elated with that one.
Well, it felt good. It's a brand new motor. Put in a pretty fast gear. I didn't know whether it was going to horse it or not, but it did. I hope that holds, but it probably won't.
Well, Wyman Travis apparently believes that there will be more than one full pull, but looking at it from a head-on view, you can see the perfect traction that this nearly 700 cubic inch Ford-powered monster had. And you can see also exactly where 30,000 pounds reaching the fulcrum point of the sled becomes just flat too much for the vehicle. So with that full pull, Wyman Travis leads the machines that have made attempts so far, but that brings us up to this week's Power Drive. Last season in West Lebanon, New York, it was the Outlaw of Mike Wine against Anthony Fortier. But the Outlaw went for the white-knuckle ride of the year with a drive that was almost a little too powerful. A great job of handling in one of the scariest non-crashing monster truck runs we've ever seen. Mike Wine showed him how it's done. That's this week's Power Drive. In just a few moments, Super Trax continues with more motorsports action. Stay with us. We're back in St. Paul, Minnesota as we continue action in the 6,200-pound modified four-wheel drive pickup truck pulling division. Now, we've already seen one full pull by Iowa's Wyman Travis. And for the rest of the competitors, that means just this, double trouble. Because every driver now who expects to get into the championship round must also make a pull-off to force a pull-off round at extra weight to determine the champion. And the double trouble machine itself backs up to the starting line. Bruce Brand out of West Bend, Wisconsin, in a machine that is rather unusual in the sport of pulling. It's a rare Chrysler-powered Dodge Dakota pickup. There have only been a few competitive Chrysler products in the four-wheel drive pickup truck category in this sport over the years, and the Chrysler has a great ride going right down to the finish line itself. A great pull for the Chrysler fans in the stands. 211 feet, 6 1/4 inches. If nothing else, right now it will take over the number 3 position. But back on the starting line, a driver who has been more than competitive in the 1991 season after 10 years of pulling. From Winthrop, Iowa, Tom Griffin has the Tumbleweed Ford running to perfection. He has done extremely well at the earliest events of the 1991 U.S. Hobbit Association Tour. And here on the Red Man Challenge Series, this truck could be tough. A perfect start. Griffin keeps it straight with his right foot planted. The Ford pulling hard. It's a full pull for the Tumbleweed Ford. That's what he was looking for. And now the pressure mounts as we are automatically forced into a pull-off round between two Ford drivers.
Tom Griffin just laid down a run that put this entire stadium on their feet. Tom, an absolutely wonderful, wonderful pull.
Thank you. Thank you. We did the best we could do.
It appears that the track is definitely coming around. These pulls are getting longer and longer.
Well, maybe I should say the better trucks are just coming up.
So you're saying that maybe the track is just staying about the same as it was earlier tonight?
I think the track is real consistent. I think it looks real good. It's just the best man's going to win, I guess.
So it's obvious that you are up for that title of the person who's going to win tonight. Who do you think is going to be your strongest competition?
Well, it's hard to say. We'll have to tell a little bit later.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
A great line from Tom Griffin. It may not be the track getting better. It might just be the better trucks are coming out. And here's one of them. This is one of the true originals on the U.S. Hobbit Association Circuit of Champions, Wally Harvell out of Stewart, Illinois, and the original Blue Max Ford. Full pull, the name of the game. We've already got two drivers going to a pull-off round. They've passed the finish line. Let's see if the original 600 cubic inch Ford can do the same. The RPM's head for the ceiling. Harvell trying to use sheer power and momentum now to get it across the finish line, and he does by a matter of 2 feet. We've got our third full pull, and the Fords are on a rampage. Every machine that's made it past the 215-foot line so far has been utilizing Ford power. That'll bring up a true classic. Ron Hakenkamp from Plymouth, Minnesota, one of the favorites here in St. Paul, with a machine he calls Chances. And obviously the fans are going crazy just looking at this one. A 1936 Ford truck pickup all original body panels, no fiberglass here, with a fuel-injected, methanol-burning Ford engine. Like the rest of the machines in this class, it must weigh exactly 6,200 pounds. No more, no less. And as we said, restricted to a non-supercharged engine burning methanol. Waiting patiently for the green light on a course that he knows has produced some great runs so far. Camp has a great one going with the vintage Ford, heading for the other end, and something breaks on the truck on what was almost guaranteed to be a full pull. You could see the truck unload right at the finish line, a tough break for the local. But coming up next is one that the ladies will certainly enjoy here at the Saint Paul Civic Center. So far, we've seen 3 Fords make it past the finish line, and the first man to do it was Wyman Travis in the Maybe Baby Ford. Well, here's the other half of the Travis family pulling team. It's Loretta Travis in the incredible Justice Ford, the newest entry for the Travis family's pulling operation. Obviously, Loretta knows that she's in the same boat as every other driver. She's got to get the 30,000-pound starting weight past the 215-foot finish line to have a chance at the overall title. But if she does, that would give us a pull-off round with a husband and wife combination. We haven't seen that since the World Championship days of Ken and Paula Guin. Loretta leaves the starting line beautifully. A little bit of tire spin, but now she's getting on it. Trying to get it past the finish line, Loretta Travis, a full pull by more than anybody has shown us so far. Literally 10 or 15 feet past the finish line before the ground crew threw the red flag to tell her to stop. Unbelievable performance. Let's look at the replay of that pull, and you can see just how much power Loretta had. A perfect start with a minimum of tire spin. She didn't get completely on the throttle till the halfway mark. Then watch this. Past the finish line, going, gone.
Loretta, absolutely a beautiful run. This young lady from a hometown back in Iowa with a population of 55 just took this Ford pickup truck from one end of that track to the other. A beautiful run. Thank you. We learned a lot from Wyman's run, so we knew how to gear mine, and told me what to do, and it worked. Now Wyman is your husband, right? What type of situation will this present at home if you do end up beating him tonight in St. Paul? He's the one who built and designed my truck, so he doesn't care. No, we don't compete with each other. We try to work together. Do you believe that your truck has the ability and the capability to be the winner here tonight? If I do everything right, but I've got a smaller motor than anybody in the pull-off so far, so I've got to gear lower and hope I do everything right. What will be your strategy going into this? I think I'll do whatever Wyman tells me to because he's running first. Well, we'll see if there is justice for all. Good luck, Loretta. Thank you.
Well, some interesting observations there by Loretta. As she pointed out, it's just a chance for the team to make double money if they can get both trucks in the pull-off. But like she said, she's got a smaller engine than most of the competitors here, which means she has to lean on the equipment a little harder. We've got 4 Ford products in the pull-off round. Here is another chance for the Chevrolet fans. From Black Creek, Wisconsin, Al Kramer's immaculate Blue Magic Chevrolet backing up to the 30,000-pound weight transfer machine known as the sled. The ground crew will now hook up the truck itself to the sled through the use of a high tensile strength steel chain and connect the kill switch to the back of the truck. In case the chain does indeed snap, a quick disconnect plug will shut down the electrical circuit within the truck for simply the margin of safety that it involves. The green flag up. The Chevrolet now comes off the line. And the Chevy's got a good one going. Does he have the power to get it past the finish line? Another incredibly close effort What a job for the Chevrolet, but it just falls short, and the look of dejection can be spotted on those GM fans' faces. 209 feet, 7 3/4 inches. So we've got 4 drivers in the pull-off round, all of them in Fords. We'll add 10,000 pounds of static weight to the sled and determine a champion in the championship dash. You may have wondered what it might be like to be inside one of these incredibly powerful vehicles, but the real wild ride belongs to this guy, the man operating the weight transfer machine itself. This is what it's like hanging on behind a 1,200 horsepower four-wheeler. Believe me when I tell you, it'll get wilder. Monster truck action and the championship pull-off is yet to come here on Super Trax.